The day my father died and the farm was still green. I remember that first. Not the crying, not the shouting, just the watermelon leaves shining in the sun like nothing had happened. I'm Elowen, I'm 12. That morning my father was fine. He was laughing, actually. He told me to check the tomatoes while he went to fix the water pump. I didn't go. I stayed under the mango tree eating one he had cut for me. Then I heard something fall, a heavy sound, like a sack of yams hitting the ground. I thought maybe he slipped. I called, "Papa?" No answer. I walked over slowly, wiping my hands on my dress. He was on the ground. Still, his eyes were open, but he wasn't looking at anything. I shook him. Hard. "Papa, get up. You're scaring me." He didn't move. People came later. I don't even remember who called them. Voices, running, dust. Someone pulled me away. And just like that, he was gone. No goodbye. No last words. Just silence where his voice used to be. That evening everyone left. The house felt too big. The farm felt even bigger. I stood at the edge of it, staring. Rows and rows of life. Watermelons swelling under their vines. Cabbages tight and full like green heads. Tomatoes, bright red, almost glowing. Everything he planted, everything he cared for. And now, it was just me. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I woke up because the sun was already too high. That's when it hit me. No one was going to water the crops. No one was going to check the soil or pick the ripe ones. No one. Except me. I walked into the farm with his old watering can. It was too heavy. I dragged it at first. Just like he does, I whispered to myself. I poured water on the tomatoes, too much. It spilled over, flooding the roots. I moved to the cabbages. I forgot how much he used to give them. I just kept pouring and pouring until the ground turned to mud. By the time I reached the watermelon patch, my hands were shaking. I stepped wrong. I froze. I looked down. A small watermelon split open under my foot, red inside, wasted. I didn't move for a long time. Then I whispered, "I don't know how to do this." The next few days didn't get easier. They got worse. I tried to follow what I remembered, but remembering isn't the same as knowing. The tomatoes started to look tired. Their leaves curled inward like they were hiding. I thought they needed more water, so I gave them more. The soil stayed wet all day. Even when the sun was hot, I didn't understand why they looked weaker. The cabbages. Some of them turned yellow at the edges. I pulled one out, thinking it was bad. But the root came out soft, like it had been sitting in water too long. I dropped it. "Why are you dying?" I asked, like they could answer me. My hands were always dirty now, my feet too. I stopped counting the mistakes. Sometimes I would carry water and spill half of it before I even reached the plants. Sometimes I forgot which rows I had watered. One afternoon, I found 3 more watermelons, cracked, not from my feet this time. From too much water. I sat right there in the dirt. The farm didn't feel beautiful anymore. It felt like it was watching me fail. "I'm trying," I said out loud. My voice sounded small. The wind moved through the leaves, but it didn't feel comforting. It felt like a whisper I couldn't understand. At night, I lay on my father's bed. I stared at the ceiling. "I'm sorry," I kept saying, over and over, because every morning there were fewer healthy plants, and I was the only one to blame. One morning, I didn't go to the farm immediately. I just sat outside the house. Quiet. I watched the sun rise over the fields, the same fields that were slowly slipping away from me. I thought about running, just leaving. Maybe someone else would come. Someone who knew what they were doing. But then I heard his voice, not real, just in my head. "Look closely, Elowen. The plants always tell you what they need." I stood up, slowly, and I walked back to the farm. This time, I didn't carry the watering can first. I walked row by row. I touched the soil. Some parts were still wet, even from yesterday. I stopped. Oh. I looked at my hands. I had been drowning them. I moved to the tomatoes. Their leaves weren't just weak, they were heavy. Too heavy. "I gave you too much," I whispered. For the first time, I didn't rush. I skipped watering that day. It felt wrong, like I was doing nothing. But I remembered him saying, sometimes helping means stopping. The next day the soil felt better. Not perfect, but better. I smiled a little, just a little. I started learning slowly. I gave less water. I checked the roots. I picked only the ripe ones. I still made mistakes, but not the same ones. And one evening, I found a watermelon, big, round, perfect. I knelt beside it, my hands hovered over it for a second, then I gently tapped it, just like he used to. A deep, full sound, ready. I didn't step on it this time. I lifted it carefully, held it close to my chest, and for the first time since he died, I didn't feel completely lost. I looked over the farm, still green, still alive, and I whispered, I'm still learning, but I'm not leaving. But I'm